Welcome back, everyone. Today we're here in Virginia checking out a wonderful museum all about a TV show some of you may know. Da-da-da, da-da-da. Roll that intro. Let's find out what it is. Well, today we're going to take a little tour of a museum. What museum could it be? What famous TV show was it? The Waltons! How many people grew up watching that TV show? That was one of my favorite shows growing up. And I can't wait to take a tour of this museum. And right across the road is John and Olivia's bed and breakfast house. But first, let's go check out the Waltons Museum. Oh, can you see that right over there, that little shed? How many people remember that Ben and his wife Cindy lived in that shed? They made a little home of that shed. Can you just see all those Waltons sitting out there on the porch? You know, every night going, good night, John boy, good night, Grandma, good night, Grandpa, and all those good nights. That was a wonderful show growing up. Well, first, let's go check out this museum. And I see they got their handicap parking signs here. Here's their hours, and admission is $10. Well, let's go check this place out. I have been looking forward to this for a long time. Here is the original Olivia. Earl Hammer created this show based on his childhood experiences and the love for the Blue Ridge Mountains. But here's the lady that Michael Lerner that played Olivia, and Ralph Waite that played John Walton. But here's the real John Walton and the real Olivia in their house. And here's the house from the show. We're going to get started taking a tour of this. I can't wait. That was one of my favorite shows growing up. And I still watch this show. It's on MeTV and on Amazon Prime. Can't wait to watch this. Check this out.
Museum. Go through that archway further down that hallway is the Baldwin Sisters room. It's actually got a working moonshine still in it.
I was going to say, we got any of that recipe in there? We all want some of that recipe.
The church behind me here, and then we also have a military museum, and that's got memorabilia in there from World War I through the Iraq and Afghanistan.
Yeah, because they served it in the war.
Yep. We also have restrooms there if you need those. We also show a 30-minute video. That's in the room behind the stage there. You can take pictures anywhere but in that video room.
Okay. That sounds perfect. Here we go. Spencer's Mountain. How many people remember that? This was the movie that started the whole thing. The whole series. Oh, I always love Grandpa Walton and Grandma. You old fool. And of course, there's the cast. Oh, the history here of this show. And here's the replica of the church they all went to. Of Earl Hammer. He created an amazing show. It ran, I believe, for 9 seasons, and of course they had some other specials came up after that. They all got together again for, I think 4 more specials. But every episode always taught you a lesson about something. There's John Boy. The piano that Jason Walton learned to play, his love for music. If you're ever in Virginia, I recommend this place. And so far, from what I'm seeing, it's all handicap accessible. But here's a replica of the set from the show. Cindy and Ben's little house back here. The big house and there's the swing and Grandma's rocking chair. She loved her rocking chair out there. And here's the mill. And Olivia's chickens. Remember that old truck hauling that lumber back and forth? I Godsey store. There it is. I can Clorbev Godsey. Mm-hmm. These are really nice places. And every episode was just always amazing. I loved it. And they said that the Baldwin sisters' recipe room's in here, so we're going to see if they got any of that recipe in here. Another replica of a house. Oh, look at that wedding dress. That is actually very beautiful. Look at that very delicate lace. Earl Hammer. He narrated every episode of that show. There's a little bit of history about him, and the cars, and the train. Let's go on and check out another room here. This is, oh, wonderful. The Blue Ridge Chronicle. John Boy created a newspaper. Remember that in those episodes? He had a newspaper. He bought him a printing machine and everything. Oh, the recipe machine. Oh, the Baldwin sisters. Let's go in here and see if they got any of the recipe in here. Like I said, the Homecoming, the Christmas Story was the show that kicked off the whole thing. You all remember some of these characters. They had a little sample of the recipe. Remember the episode where the preacher, he tasted and had some of it and got a little bit too tipsy there. And that guy, he got too much of it and burnt down the school. Grandpa Walton. I have fun memories of every episode. Oh, there we go. Yancey Tucker. Oh, shoot. And there's the Baldwin sisters' house. And of course, I can't forget them. The Baldwin sisters. Oh, here's the recipe. The recipe machine. But dang it, there's no samples here. This museum is well worth the $10 for a minute to come here. And there's a model of their house. Oh, Miss Mamie sitting there playing on the piano. There's that typewriter. Remember that typewriter John Boy borrowed? And then his sister Mary Ellen sold it as junk. She fought and fought to get it back. old Judge Baldwin's typewriter. They say this is not the Baldwin sisters recipe machine. However, this is a real working recipe machine. Confiscated locally. Just add the fire and the fixings. Well, doggies. Let's go check out another room here. They said something about this is the old school. Earl Hammer's old school. There's so many different pictures on the wall of people that played on the show in different scenes. There's Olivia. Ashley Longworth. Remember Ashley Longworth? It was one of the Baldwin sisters. It was always waiting for Ashley Longworth to come back. This is the kitchen. Oh, the kitchen. All the Baldwin children sitting around. There's Olivia's kitchen. Homemade pies and breads and all that. There's her ironing. Remember, she's always doing her ironing. And that way back there, over there in the corner, see if I can zoom in. That was their refrigerator. This is an amazing museum. And the old wood cook stove. There's the churn to churn the butter. Pony cart. How many people remember the pony cart? Part I've seen so far that's not handicap accessible. There's a ledge right there, so you'd have to watch that out. So far, that's the only thing I've found. I'll let you know if I find out anything else. Drusilla's Pond, Ashley Longworth, Kinfolk and Lumber Mill, all the cast from the TV show. They pronounce it Schuyler, Virginia. Here all along I was pronouncing it Schuyler. So, sorry about that one. Okay, this is the living room of the Waltons. Ah, the family's sitting around, listening to the radio. Oh, the cradle. I feel like I'm right there on the TV set. I mean, they have really got it all, you know, the replicas, wonderful. Wonderfully done. The way I understand it, this is all the stuff that was on the TV set of the Waltons. All brought here. Look at this old radio. That was the radio that they all listened to. They didn't have TVs back then and all that. I love it. I can't say enough about this show. I just really loved it. Well, let's go on and check out another room. There's a drawing of Elizabeth when she was little. So let's go off in another room. Like I said, this is the old school. And they just took each room and turned it into a part, each room was like one room. Like that is the living room and exhibit room and the church. Good use of it.
that one was
Jim Bob, he always had his head in the clouds wanting to be a pilot. The Hammer family, Earl Hammer's real family. Oh, let's go see if Ike and Cora Beth is here at the general store. Lucky there.
afternoon.
Hi. And that's how they got their mail. Oh, the old cola machine. These are different. They used the Ike stores, the gift shop here. There's Ike and Cora Beth. So got different souvenirs you can buy here, t-shirts and hats and dolls and quilts and purses and different things. Here's the kind of shoes they wore. This is so cool. Takes you back in time, doesn't it? And the clothes they had back then. My goodness. There, look at the old train set and the iron. Let's go check out another one. John Boy's room. Well, they even had a game back then. You can play. I never knew that one. So we're gonna go check out John Boy's room. Where's John Boy's there? I like to visit with John Boy. Yep, I remember him up there cutting down the Christmas tree. There's so many different pictures of the cast from the Waltons show. I can call her Beth. He was something else, that grandpa. Elizabeth doll. Oh, they even have paper dolls. I use paper dolls. A real life dollhouse. John Boy's room. Boatwright University. This is John Boy's room. He went to Boatwright University. He would sit there at his window and write in his journal, creating his stories for his book. This room is just pretty well identical to the one you saw on TV. Clear down to the rugs. The oak chest. There's a typewriter and all of his books. He loved to read. Well, let's go on to another room here and just explore this museum. Big kudos to you. Handicap accessible bathroom, so people with a disability can come here and enjoy this museum. Let's check out the military museum. Because as you know, the family, there are different generations served in World War I and II, and I believe they said clear back to the Spanish War and more. wonder if this is Mary Ellen's ball glove. She loved to play ball. She was kind of a tomboy. This is amazing. To see how the military, gear and equipment changed throughout the years. Well, I hope you enjoyed this little tour of Waltons Mountain Museum. It's been so much fun and so educational. I could see myself sitting there on the couch talking with the Waltons and see them all sitting there around the radio and listening to all the programs. And it's all handicap accessible and $10, located here in Schuyler, Virginia. So until next time, just always remember, your next dream, your next adventure is just over the horizon. See you on in the next video. More to explore here in Virginia. Well, good night, John Boy. Good night, Mary Ellen. Good night, Aaron. Good night, Elizabeth. Good night, Ben. Good night, Jason. Good night, Grandpa. Good night, Grandpa. Good night, Mom. Good night, Dad. See you on the next video.